What's going on, beautiful people? It's Joe, aka the Nomad Investor, where dividends, freedom, anywhere is the goal. Today, we are back with another portfolio update. So, if you are new here and you could subscribe to the channel, that would mean so much to me, but also keep me motivated to continue making these videos. As of today, we are at 835 subscribers and 25 videos. And this is the 26th video that I'm filming and the 24th portfolio update. So without further ado, let's get into things. As always, the videos on this channel are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. I am not a financial professional or advisor, and nothing here should be taken as financial, investment, or tax advice. Investing always carries risk, and those seeking financial advice should seek out a registered professional. Now, getting into things, this is my game plan and goal for growing a small portfolio from $0 to $1,000 per month in dividend income. I have two sources of income: remote work income and business income. Remote work income is pretty stable, pretty consistent, pretty reliable. My business income is also reliable, but it does fluctuate up and down depending on the seasonality of things. So I've committed to contributing a minimum of $300 all the way up to $1,000 plus per month into a Robinhood taxable brokerage. And I'm treating this brokerage like a business, aiming for 30% plus high yield. And the way that I'm achieving this is through investing in funds like high yield income ETFs, such as the following: WPay, HOW, QDTE, XDTE, XPay, blocks, and etc. Now, I've committed to only having a maximum of 5 positions currently because of the size of my portfolio, but I will be alternating between anchors and satellite ETFs. What I will end up doing is reinvesting the weekly or monthly dividends, depending on the fund that I'm invested in, and I'm going to be doing either drip or stack dividends to purchase when the market is down. But drip plus always compounding, that's the portfolio growth strategy. And last but definitely not least, I'm basically going to be rinse and repeating this until the account hits $1,000 a month in dividend income. Now, again, none of this is financial advice. This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. Now, these are my dividend income milestones while I'm growing my small portfolio. This is basically so I can celebrate the small wins leading up to the bigger goal along the way. This past month in October, we were able to achieve the first 2 goals of $100 a month and $200 a month. This month of November, I am aiming to achieve both the $300 a month and the $400 a month goal. So we shall see if I hit that. So moving on into the new possible strategy, this is really to protect my portfolio during any kind of bear market or dramatic movement. But basically, I'm looking to diversify a bit and hold some different positions that are more focused on growth. So these are the allocations that I will be doing for my portfolio moving forward. So 50% will be in high conviction, high yield ETFs. I call these HCHY ETFs, and I believe these aren't going anywhere. This will allow me to continue increasing my share sizes for each position. The remaining 50% allocation will be divided up amongst 3 types of funds. The first 20% allocation will be in growth ETFs, and I'm personally going to be investing into VGT. That's what I hold in my retirement portfolio and some of my other investment accounts. The next 20% will be allocated towards stable NAV index ETFs, such as QQQI, XPay, EGI. I'm not sure which one just yet. I'm still researching, but I'm looking between these 3. And then the last 10% will be allocated towards SGov or something equivalent. And this is basically in case that I'm using margin, and should I need to decrease my margin, I can just liquidate the SGov and pay off the margin on my Robinhood account. So that is my new strategy moving forward. Now, hopping into the portfolio, we're at $5,172.16, which is still pretty good. I'm not complaining at all. We did actually hit, I think it was around 5,300 at one point. I don't know why it's not showing it, but it is what it is. As you can see, my buying power has slightly decreased, and I'll explain why in a moment, but we are at a 54.35% margin buffer, which is also $2,811.20 above our margin requirement. My margin total is $5,204.28. Like I mentioned, you'll see that my margin used has increased, and that's strictly because my Robinhood Gold membership just kicked in. I didn't know I was using a free trial this whole time, but I guess I was. So this went up by $50 as a result of that hitting the account. Like I mentioned, I have that $2,574.27 in buying power. Hopping over into the dividend sheet that we have here, I'm going to be quickly covering this now. Mind you, the share price doesn't update for the after hours, unfortunately. It only pulls the last price at the close of the market, but like the normal market hours close. So just keep that in mind. But if we move over here, we are at 16.70% for HOW, 4.92% for WPay, and 14.09% for NVDW in total return as of the last pull of this price. And then our market return is 11.32% for HOW, 1.22% for WPay, and 12.12% for NVDW. So everything's in the green, everything's looking good. And if you're new, I'm just sharing this again briefly. You can pause this. These are the dividends that have been paid out for each position. And if we scroll over here, we can see for the month of October, that is the total dividends that we've been paid out, which is $282.14. And we're currently at $316.31 for the year. Now, real quick, I did want to hop into X. If you guys are not following me on X, my handle is I'm Nomad Investor. I'm going to be posting a lot more on here. I have been doing some posts and updates and things. I also drop when my latest videos are out in case you don't see it on YouTube for some reason. We're currently at 33 followers. And yeah, I'm just trying to grow this account. Okay, so I did want to do my October recap here. As of October, my YouTube went from 4 subscribers to 833 subscribers. We gained 829 total subscribers for the month of October. Super awesome to see. I'm really appreciative of it, all of you guys. And then for Robinhood, we were at a $2,227.62 net account value. And we ended this month with $5,172.16 net account value. So our net account value increased by $2,944.54. For dividends, we ended last month with $28.97 a month. And then this month, we ended with $282.14 a month in dividends. So our dividends increased by $253.17. Overall, I'm really proud of the progress in just a month. I'm really thankful for everyone who has tuned in, who has continued to support, who has provided massive feedback, suggestions, and even questions that has left me to learn a lot from. So I'm very appreciative and thankful for all of you. We're not stopping here. We're going to continue. But here are the goals for November. Basically, I would love to reach 1,500 subs minimum on YouTube. For my Robinhood account, I would love to surpass that $10,000 net account value threshold. For my dividends, I do want to reach that $400 a month milestone. This is on my journey of personally trying to reach $1,000 a month in dividend income as a whole. And then for my X account, I would like to at least get 100 followers. So if we can achieve all these things for November, that would be amazing. But moving on, I do have some posts I wanted to share with you guys. Let's hop over into Ambassador of Kwan's X posts. They said, first look, KYLD launched portfolio 10/31. So yesterday on Halloween. Curve Invest High Income ETF just revealed its day one lineup, a blend of direct equity exposure and targeted synthetic income positions. So these are all the holdings that are under KYLD. So that's TER or Teradyne, which is 5.9% weighting, and that's an equity exposure. Then they have BWXT, which is BWX Technologies, 5.1% weighting with equity exposure. They have GDX/SIL. These are minor ETFs, so gold and silver minor ETFs, which is 5% weighting with equity exposure. We have Broadcom or AVGO, which is 5.1% and equity exposure as well. We have INTC. I don't know this one, but this is equity and or synthetic exposure. Short calls are written. Then there's AMD. We have 4.8%, which is equity exposure. IBIT looks like synthetic exposure, Bitcoin proxy, long calls plus short puts pair. Then there's GLXY, equity and or synthetic exposure. It's crypto focused. Then we have 4, which is also equity and or synthetic exposure, but focused on payments. BMNR, equity and or synthetic exposure for Bitmine. HIMS, equity and or synthetic exposure. And then there's Coinbase, Shopify. I think RBLX is Roblox. I could be wrong. Reddit, and then VST. This is equity exposure only. No options yet. And then there's cash and USTs, which are 10% weighting, and that's collateral/liquidity reserve. And it says quick take. Portfolio equals 85% equity exposure and 15% option overlay. Overlay built from short calls plus limited short put exposure, IBIT, premium income, and synthetic long positions. Broad multi-sector mix, tech, industrials, miners, crypto-linked plays, and fintech. And then design confirms an income first mandate with capped upside through option overlay. So this is interesting to know. And if you are investing into a fund like this is what you need to keep in mind. But again, not financial advice. And then it says, expect frequent distributions as premium cycle and positions roll. Is KYLD the new diversified income engine to watch? So KYLD, this is how their approach is going to be. Like it mentioned, income first mandate, and there is capped upside through the option overlay. So just keep that in mind. And yeah, let's move into the next post. It says how much 1 million pays you in dividends annually from funds with no NAV erosion. So if you invested $1 million, here's how much you would get annually. If you invested into Chippy, you would get $400,000. This is really the only ETF from YieldMax that I personally do like. I am not invested in it at all, and I'm definitely not encouraging anybody to invest in this. But this is really the only fund of YieldMax, if ever I were to invest in the YieldMax fund, that I would probably look to potentially put my money into. But again, not financial advice, and this is not a suggestion or anything like that. Then there's Blocks. For Blocks, it says if you put in $1 million, you would get $360,000 in dividends annually from the fund. Maggie, $330,000 in annual dividends. BTCI, $280,000 in annual dividends. QQI, $140,000. TSPY, $130,000. SPYI, $120,000. KQQQ, $90,000. GPIQ, $90,000. GPIX, $80,000. TDVI, $70,000. TYLG, $70,000, and SCHD, $35,000. I think Chippy, Blocks, and Maggie take the top. And then let's throw in BTCI as well. Those four are pretty good in my mind. Yeah, this is something that I thought was just interesting. I like reading posts like this, even though this is not the type of capital that I'm personally investing into my Robinhood account at this moment, but it's something to dream about, to think about. And it kind of gives me some ideas, like if I'm just focused on income and I don't want NAV erosion, these are some funds that match that criteria. But out of all these, I'm probably most interested in Blocks, to be honest. And my second choice would be BTCI. After that, I could possibly choose like a fund like Chippy. But again, I'm not investing into Chippy at this present time. All right. Now, I know this is kind of different. I'm putting myself on the full screen here right now. There's something that I wanted to discuss with you guys. So I never really have shared on this channel so far why I'm doing this challenge, why I am building and investing into this portfolio. Before I created this portfolio, I was researching a lot into velocity banking and was looking at something like a whole life insurance policy. The whole intention of this was I wanted to be my own bank. I didn't want to keep seeing the income that I made go straight towards bills and then it's no longer growing because it's gone. Yes, I was already doing the retirement account investments, 401k, Roth IRA, those types of things. And yes, I did have some personal, more risky investments, such as my crypto holdings. But I started to think about how can I get more leverage? I already have a lot of leverage because of my business. I do have leverage because of my access to credit, but I wanted a different kind of leverage. I wanted a leverage that was my own. I didn't need to go to a bank. I didn't need to get a credit check. I didn't need anyone to go ask or sign any paperwork or anything for. I wanted my own bank. I wanted to borrow from my own self, but I didn't want to lose that money. I wanted that money to continue to grow. And so that's when I stumbled into velocity banking. And when I was looking into it, I didn't really like the options that they were offering. And I'm not bashing it by any means, but I think those are a little bit more traditional and more higher level, to be honest. But I really like the concept of having immediate liquidity, easy access. Again, you're not having to really ask for permission. I don't have to open up a line of credit or anything like that. And that's kind of where this whole high yield dividend income ETF stuff came from. That was primarily what led me into finding or stumbling upon this. Before this, I had already invested for many years into traditional dividend ETFs, but I never really saw it as something that I could possibly generate either an income from on a monthly basis, especially, let alone weekly basis, or something that I could borrow against in the short term to use to do many different things, whether it's invest in a property or a new business opportunity, borrow for an emergency without really losing my capital. So that is why I started this journey and why I'm continuing to proceed with this journey. As at this present time, I have no need for this money, none at all. And I don't plan on doing anything as of right now to pull from these funds or use it for my personal life or use it as disposable income. But who knows in the future? I don't know the future. Most people don't. I know we call Warren Buffett the Oracle, but even he doesn't know the future. All we can do is pay attention to what's going on in the world, the advancements being made, and how that impacts everybody on a single day. But for me personally, I don't need the income to live off of right now. So that's why I'm aggressively growing it and building it up. Maybe someday in the very far future, this portfolio will get to a place where if ever I did lose a good chunk of my income, or if ever I were to sell my business, then maybe that could be something that I could look into using as my source of income while I either discover a new project or invest into a new opportunity. But up until that point ever comes, I'm just going to keep doing this journey, keep bringing you guys along. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope all that makes sense. Anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not as long as my usual ones. I know there's not a lot of juicy news or articles or posts, but I just wanted to update you guys since it's the end of the week. And yeah, if you haven't already and you're new here, please subscribe. And especially if you have watched this whole entire video, if you could smash that like button, that would mean so much to me. It would go a long way and help me with the algorithm. Also, if you guys have any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, or anything, comment them down below. I would really appreciate it. And without further ado, until next time, guys, peace.